Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8-Second Gaming, and in today's video we are going to be breaking down the Season 22 Split 1 Early Legend tier list. This meta has been shaken up quite a bit. You're seeing some legends going into S tier and even the secretly broken tier that I honestly never thought would ever be there. But hey, we're here, so let's break it down. But just quickly, if you guys are looking to take your Apex skill to the next level, then you have to check out the GameLeap website right now. Over there, we have literally hundreds of guides made from top level coaches that cover everything you need to know about Apex. We have videos covering legend guides, gun guides, VOD reviews going over positioning and breaking down your favorite pro players and streamers so you can play more like them. No matter what you struggle with, we have solutions for you. So click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership and start to improve today. But okay, let's move back into the tier list, and I do want to cover two things just very quickly here. First off, I am going to be doing a new style here where I'm talking more about the legends that are moving up and down in the tiers going off of our old tier list from the last season. It's going to be a new style, it's going to be something that I'm playing around with, so please let me know in the comments if you like this style or the old style better, and I will do that in the future. But the second thing is this is based off of a ranked play. It's not competitive like tournaments or anything like that, or it's also not even pubs. Pubs, play whoever you want, do whatever makes you have fun. And tournaments are a completely different gameplay style. Seriously guys, I have hundreds of hours of scrim experience. I've made ALGS finals, I made GLL summer finals. I know what tournaments are like. It is a different play style, so I'm talking for this about ranked. Different playstyle, different tier list, let's hop into it. And to start off with, we have the D tier, which saw zero movement whatsoever. Mirage and Ballistic are still down here for the same reasons. They're basically troll picks that leave a lot of holes in your team comp. They do have some moments where they absolutely pop off and they can do a lot of work, but once you start to get into the higher tiers of ranked, people know how to counter them, they know how to play around them, and you're going to be seeing a lot of counterplay that's leaving you just kind of left in the dust and hard stuck. But that is our D tier done, so let's move into the C tier, and we only saw one legend moving here, and that is Vantage. Vantage has left the C tier and gone into the S tier. The Vantage sniper rifle is busted. I think a lot of people understand how good the Vantage sniper rifle is right now because in your rank games, you're probably just seeing laser pointers everywhere like you're at a rave. Seriously, it feels like you can't even get into a fight with at least two Vantage sniper rifles being used. Even if it's not on your team, there's probably one that's sitting 500 feet away from you staring at you through her sniper rifle trying to get a pick. And even though her sniper rifle is ridiculously strong, she also has a really good relocator for fights with Echo. She can pull out her sniper rifle, hit you, jump with Echo, hit you again, jump with Echo, and just continue to do that hopping around the place to continuously get new angles on teams and just be pumping out a lot of damage and a lot of pressure. It is amazing to see a legend get like basically two good buffs and go from a C tier legend to an S tier legend just like that. But I was already a Vantage enjoyer from previous seasons. I thought she was a really strong, underrated legend, but now she got some buffs that she needed and she's an S tier legend and people are finally giving her the recognition she deserves. But that is our C tier covered, so let's move into our B tier, and there are some movements here. We are seeing Mad Maggie leaving the B tier and going into the secretly broken tier. This season, if you are not running a shotgun, you are throwing your games. You need a Mastiff or you need Mozambique Akimbo. Both of those go stupidly hard, and what better legend to pair a shotgun with than Mad Maggie? Right now she is ridiculously strong, she's ridiculously aggressive, and she can just abuse the shotguns being super strong. But the reason that I have her in secretly broken and not S tier is because of the Mozambique Akimbos. With her one perk giving you the ability to auto reload shotguns whenever you knock somebody, the Mozambiques can just shoot forever. And not a lot of people are respecting that right now. I can't tell you how many teams I've seen group up around a Mad Maggie that's just spraying Akimbos at them, and they get caught off guard and just get wiped by a Maggie that never has to reload. Because of that, that is why I'm putting Maggie in the secretly broken tier. But towards the end of the split, when people start to just actually recognize it and actually start to give her the respect she deserves, we might see some movement into the S tier, but for right now, I do think she's a secretly broken legend. But now we can move to the A tier, and there are also some movements going around here. First off, we're seeing Alter leaving the A tier and going into the secretly broken tier. I think Alter is one of the strongest legends right now with the ability to take fights for free and just catch people off guard. It doesn't matter if you're an edge or zone style team, you can just throw down the Void Nexus and run at a team, and if something goes wrong, you Void Nexus out. Or you wipe the fight, and if a third party comes, you Void Nexus out, you're perfectly fine. She's especially a standout pick, I think, on zone teams, because one of the biggest issues that zone teams had was their ability ability to get loot and also get fights to sustain themselves for the end game. But with Alter, you set up a building, you have a control legend, a Caustic, a Watson, a Catalyst, something like that. They protect the building, you void Nexus, you run at a team, you finish the fight, you grab some loot, you void Nexus back to your building. That's perfectly safe because the control legend left it set up. And hey, you got a bunch of stuff, you sustained yourself, you got more gas for your tank, you're ready to go for endgame. She also gives teams a new way to push buildings, being able to hop through a wall or be able to push through height by a different means. She opens up a lot of opportunities, and by far my favorite thing to do with somebody is to Alter kidnap them. If you rip them, they try to hide behind a small piece of cover to heal, you shoot your Q at it, it sucks them onto the other side, they're standing in the middle of the open, you get a free kill. And because Alter is so new, we are barely scratching the surface on what she can do and how useful she can be. There are legends that have been out for years and we are still finding new techniques to use on them. Alter is brand new. She is going to be used in some fantastic ways as soon as people really start to unlock her potential, and I cannot wait for that. So right now I think she's moving from A tier into secretly broken. On top of that, we are seeing Watson leaving the A tier and going into the S tier. The Watson buffs this season were absolutely incredible. And as an old Watson player from comp, I absolutely love this because Watson is my baby girl. I love to see her back in such a strong position. Now, she was moving into the meta a little bit more last season, but with the buffs that she's gotten this season, she's been even better. And even though Crypto did get a buff as well, and Crypto is being played a lot more often, Watson does have ways to play around Crypto, so she doesn't get countered super hard by Crypto. It is a little bit of an annoyance when Crypto does EMP all your fences, but there are still ways to counter it a little bit, so Watson is still a good pickup no matter what. If you're playing zone and you need a control legend, Watson is definitely going to be the pick for you. But now we can move into the secretly broken tier, and there are two legends actually falling out of this tier, and that is Seer and Pathfinder. Both of those legends are going into the A tier. Now, the reason I think that they're out of the secretly broken tier and into the A tier is because when they were getting buffed back to the point where they were super strong, a lot of people didn't expect them to be as good. So that's why you're able to catch people off guard, and they were a secretly broken pick. But I think a lot of people really understand how good Pathfinder's zipline can be. They understand how good Pathfinder can be in fights. So that's why he's back into A tier, because he's a good legend, but people expect that goodness out of him now, so they start to play around it a little bit. And I'm not gonna lie, Pathfinder's zipline is very strong, but the fact that he still has massive cooldowns is a huge detriment to him. Having to choose between the auto reset of your grapple on knock or the better zipline is a tough choice to have, because you can be less aggressive with the zipline, but you have better rotation options for your team. And those rotation options are fantastic. They do help your team a lot, but I don't think it's enough to push him into the S tier. I think the S tier legends are just a step above Pathfinder, and the same thing goes for Seer. Seer's buffs are pretty strong, but right now I honestly think he could fall into even the B or C tier, dare I say, because you don't really need Seer anymore. The health bar is going to be above somebody no matter what now, so Seer's usefulness kind of did go out of the window a little bit, but the scans, the heartbeat sensor, and the ultimate are still very strong, very good tools to use in fights, so that is why I still think he is an A tier legend, and sitting alongside the A tier would be Bloodhound in this as well, so both scan legends in the A tier does seem very fitting to me, and that's why I have him here and not anything lower. But he's definitely one of the legends that I did struggle with placing a little bit, so if you think he's lower, let me know in the comments. And I do want to touch on the other legend that is in the secretly broken tier just a little bit, and that is Crypto. Crypto's buff was fantastic for him. Him going invisible can catch people off guard, especially in endgame positions, because you don't really need to find the best hiding spot. You just need to keep your drone alive and you can hide in plain sight. It is pretty strong. It's a really good option for Crypto, and if you get good at Crypto drone placement, you can be very, very sneaky. So even though Crypto wasn't secretly broken last year, I do think he is also going to stay in secretly broken because people are still underestimating him, and he's still going to be a solid pickup. But now we can move into the S tier, the top, the cream of the crop, and I am going to touch on every legend in the S tier because it's the S tier. You got to talk about everybody. First off, we saw Bangalore falling out of S tier and going into A tier. I do think Bangalore is still a very strong legend, but right now I think there are just better pickups in the entry fragger role, and also most people that were running Bangalore to counter aim assist aren't going to be doing that anymore because aim assist did get a slight nerf. So I don't think she's as big of a pickup as she once was, and I do think she's a solid legend, which is why I think she's still an A tier but not an S tier standout pick. Next up, Newcastle, staying in S tier. He's just an S tier legend, especially with the shotgun bust, because you can play around his gun shield, move it forward, move it back, dip in and out of it. His ult ultimate, being able to slam it down, intercept ordnance, do whatever you need to do, res your teammates. He's just the total package. He's always been an S tier legend, and he just keeps getting buff after buff after buff. I will die on this hill. Newcastle is a top tier legend. People need to figure it out. S tier. Another one that is staying in S tier is Revenant. Revenant is just a really strong raid boss of a legend. I think a lot of people do understand that. Him being able to pop his ultimate and just be getting 75 shield that resets whenever he gets a knock is super, super, super annoying. You have to deal so much damage to a Revenant to just even be able to fight him. And sometimes it's not even worth fighting him because as soon as he pops that ultimate, you're just at a disadvantage. So it's better to run and wait for it out. But even if you try to run, he can just jump after you. And if he gets a knock, it gets reset. He can jump again. Revenant's just Revenant, man. There's no other things around it or to say about it because he's just so strong. S tier. And we already talked about Vantage and Watson moving into S tier, but one other legend that is moving out of S tier is Wraith. Now, I always had Wraith in S tier because Wraith was able to do what no other legend was able to do. She was able to play super split from her team while being safe while doing it. Other legends were able to play split from their team, they were able to do it, but they weren't as safe as Wraith was because if somebody were to push a Wraith, she could just Q and get back to her team perfectly fine, which was huge. It gave Wraith so many different options. But now we have Alter, so if you want to play split for your team, or heck, if your entire team wants to play super split but still have a solid place to go back to, all you need to do is take the Alter portal. Alter is unlocking a lot more flexible playstyles that Wraith was also doing, but on her own. Wraith was playing split on her own. This gives your team the entire ability, and I'm just kind of going around in circles, but I'm just trying to say this. Wraith is no longer an S tier pick in my opinion because she's no longer doing what no other legend does. She's still an A tier legend because she is still strong at what she does, but not an S tier standout pick, so that is why I have her here. But let me know in the comments, do you guys think any of these legends should move up or down in the tiers? And again, how did you like the new style of tier list? This one's a little bit more streamlined, but less information is being thrown out. The other one I felt was a little bit more bulky, but more information was thrown out. So let me know, should I continue this style or go back to the old style? And if you guys want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming. I'll see you guys in the next one.